Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I would be so ungrateful. What can Tato Epemo, Tato Yesua, Ole Konyo. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I will be so ungrateful. Thank you, Jesus. Ole Konyo. Tato. There is no other God. Every other God was so counterfeit. I tried to do failed me. I tried every other God, and he all let me down. Today I'll say I should give something for something. Let me love on the sacrifice before they can bless me. Was there something to you? You never asked before I die. You keep on showering your blessings all over me. If I don't praise you, if I don't worship you, what's the matter to pay? You can't make that to pay. I don't. Yes, I don't. Tato, one kind of warrior. Tato, hey, Tato, Tato, one kind of warrior. You are my light, you are my light. Daddy, you uphold my trust. You are my stronghold. You are my defender. You are my provider. Everything now you. If I don't praise you, who else will I praise? If I don't worship you, who else will I worship? Hey, você me tá do pé. You can't let me tá do pé. Tato. Yes, I want my fire warrior. If I don't praise you, who else will I praise? If I don't worship you, who else will I worship? Hey, você me tá do pé. You can't let me tá do pé. Tato, yes, I want my fire warrior. Tato, Epemo. Tato. For all you have done. Hey, Tato. I get to bed to you. Tato. You are the great God. Tato. One kind of warrior. Tato, yes, I want. Tato. Hey, Tato. You are the great Tato.
Good morning, folks. We want to welcome you to this broadcast. Hopefully, my microphone is on. Please give me a thumbs up if I'm audible here. I want to make sure that you get us here as well. So, folks, we want to welcome all of you. It's just a little after 12. We want to welcome you to this afternoon broadcast. I'm Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. It's a wet day here in the East Coast. Really pouring here, but I think it's better than the snow actually. Okay, we want to welcome you to a very short later. I will be joining my guests from inside Liberia. As you know, the National Election Commission (NEC) has officially and the Supreme Court subsequently lifted the stay into banned on the process of the 2020 midterm senatorial election. So I will be speaking with another aspirant from the southeastern side of Liberia, specifically to Maryland County, Mr. Wilbert Yancy is in a race for Maryland County. And it's quite interesting. Just give me a break here a little bit. Okay. The fee is actually crowded in Liberia. With respect to the senatorial race, let me make reference to my note here. Maryland County is heavily being contested as well. Let's see how many candidates potential as far I know up to date from the official website. We have 8 candidates contesting in the senatorial race in Maryland County, Republic of Liberia. That is quite fascinating, and one of will be having the opportunity to speak with one here. Mr. Wilbert Yancy is in the race. Please give me a thumbs up if all you getting my signal loud and clear. If you are just joining us for the first time on the Liberia Public Radio, so I want to welcome you this beautiful Monday, the first working official day of the week. But I'm telling you, it is a wet day here in the East Coast, and it was quite amazing. You know, the beauty and the glory of God is amazing and unquestionable. I was just talking with a station manager while coming from work. Like, it's really wet here. He said, "Are you kidding me? We're having a beautiful day in Philadelphia." I'm just like, wow, 4 or 5 hours away, and it is pouring here. That's the strength, that's the beauty, and that's the uniqueness of the Most High, you know. But I thank God that's part of the wind. Coming from work on the wheel, and we kept talking. Then I got home. But we signed up for this for community commitment. It is very much important to us relative to the process in Liberia. And so when it comes to that, we try to take in some extra energy to give us the opportunity. All right, Gloria, I believe it's the first time here. Aman, thank you so much for joining us. This is Liberia Public Radio. Okay, yet if you are my guest, I'm getting a message yet. You can just join the conversation as well, and we will we can get this going here. But the good news, let's see, the guy on Pennsylvania Avenue here, we're still trying to get him out of that. There seems to be a little bit good light for Liberia, and only the government GOL must be far-sighted to make sure that ties. Madam Lyndon Thomas Greenfield potentially will be named as one of the front runners and hopefully to be confirmed by the Senate here as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And she formerly served as ambassador accredited near the capital of Monrovia. That's a good thing. So the government, the opposition, the stakeholders, we are hoping that she will be named. She's a woman of color. She will be named by President Biden, and hopefully the confirmation will take place. If I were advising them now, I will start telling them to start, to use that connection. That's what people do. You network. It's not all about talking. How you think other countries are getting the assistance from the United Nations and U.S. and all of that? U.S. is the higher donor. Even if you went to other country, once it's an international collaboration, if you can't really get the support of the U.S., you're your aid will be, believe me or not, there will be a hook on it. I won't say it can be approved, but so we have a little bit green light here. Only our leader must be smart to be able to use whatever ties during her time as ambassadors in the country to see whether they can renew that tie. And when she sits at the desk at the United Nations, then of course your country tie more over, it will be at the forefront of the table. And to our up to it, she's a woman of color, so it's a good news for us. But only if they will be far-sighted to have that sort of calculation. Not because she's not dead again, but she knows the history of Liberia. She knows what's going on. So she could be somebody that potentially our leaders can kind of close range with her to be able to push the agenda. Okay, guys, if you're ready, you can join me. But in the meantime, so we're going to be talking about the race in Liberia, that is Maryland. Remember, Maryland is in the southeastern side of Liberia. I joined Liberia in what, 1857? Right? Yeah, 1857. They joined Liberia to be part of the country is now called Republic. You know, the last time they did a census, I think last record 2004, over 100 some more thousand, but I believe the population has kind of upgrade and to a significant level. I do not know the current populations of the county, but they will be the guest I see here. Let's see here. Hopefully, the guest here. Let me capture his image. Okay. All right. Let's see here. My guys are here. We're going to be having this conversation here. Stay tuned. Very shortly, we're going to be here. And I listened to Presidential Affairs Minister this morning, Nathaniel Falamangi, relative to the referendum. Okay, let's go here. We're going to Okay, we want to welcome you. Thank you so much. Let's go to our guys standing by. Let's see what we can do. Let me bring our candidate. He is a candidate. He's seeking for the leadership of what? Maryland County to go to the House. Joining me now from Liberia is Mr. Wilbert Yancy, is a senatorial candidate for Maryland County, Republic of Liberia. Mr. Yancy, are you there?
Thank you. I'm here. I'm here, you, my brother.
Good. Okay. Good evening. How are you today?
I'm very good. Perfect. So perfect.
Okay. Okay. What? Is it that warm out there?
Oh man, the weather is so cozy. It's so nice. I mean, Maryland County has a very beautiful weather. The weather is so good.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, and our man Yon, the graduate, the upcoming graduate Yon, thank you so much for always being there for us. We say congratulations. And Mr. Yancy, I want to say thank you for honoring this invitation to be here. I think I will do adjusted to just briefly introduce yourself, and we can get down to right to the wire.
Thank you very much. Good folks in Media Land. My name is Richard Emmanuel Wilbert Yancy. A lot of friends and close associates call me Wilbert Yancy just because my name is so long. I'm a Liberian. I'm a Maryland citizen, citizen from Maryland County, sorry to say. I work on an international platform called Coco International, an Italian firm where I represent the group as the West Africa director, and with head office based in Accra, Ghana. And I am a holder of 2 master degrees, one in project management, one in public administration. And I come with the rich experience on the international platform with connections and contact with the big players in world global on the global economic scene. And I have not heard any government opposition before. I've never been appointed in any governmental post in my whole life. I've never served in government. I'm from the private sector. and I've entered the race as an independent candidate for Maryland County, and this is the process. And I'm in campaigning door to door, step to step, house to house, reach out to everybody in this county for the upcoming elections in December. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Yancy, again, I say thank you so much. Welcome to the Liberia Public Radio, Lpr-Tv, based here in the USA and also branches in Liberia. We do not humiliate people here on this network. It's a very civil conversation to the
Bye
issues
bye.
to get Liberian people a sense of who we will potentially elect and who want to be the leaders and why they want to be the leaders. These are a little bit normal questions we ask, and so we are honored to have you here. Okay, greatly. You are a guy from the private sector, correct? From the intro.
Thank you very much. Yeah, sure, for real. Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you trying to transition? And politics is so divisive in Liberia. Liberians are sick and tired of the politicians. They are now no longer entitled to these loan credentials, educational background. We brought in Harvard graduate, economists, World Bank, African Development Bank, and here we are. We're still scratching your head. So why not stay in the public sector to create job? And you want to go on Capitol Hill. What is on Capitol Hill are you looking for?
Oh, thank you very bro. Thank you very much. I didn't just jump out to enter the race. All right. After being petitioned by people from our county, Maryland County, and then other Marylanders in diaspora and other parts of Liberia, I took upon my time to contemplate on the matter, and then I deemed it wise, to enter the race. I've been visiting my county for the last few months before I was even petitioned, and then what I've seen around where the kind of economic situation in the county, uh, how the life condition also here, I felt so very much downhearted from what I've seen. All right, everything is not moving in this county. When compared to other counties, you realize that Marylanders are faced with a harsh situation, hard lifestyle. All right, uh, basic, you know, essential goods within the counties. A county is so expensive for the people as compared to other counties. All right. For instance, people have been complaining over the last few years how to meet and meets. All right, and then with the poor infrastructure within the county, and of course this is across Liberia, but that should not be the issue for now. For we saying that okay, because other parts of Liberia also is faced with the constraint of bad infrastructure and stuff, that we should relax and rely on what we have. So I've entered the race to bring on forth my international connections and my rich experience in project management and see how we can drive this economy. I come from the private sector. I'm not a full politician. I'm not let's say uh, a politician as may be known by other people in other part of Maryland County, but I am a private citizen. I come with the business mindset to this process, and I think this is now time where we come together as people of the county to drive the economy of this county. And with my platform, I don't think you need to be a politician to come in when you see your people are striving. All right. Sometimes politicians just do the talking, but then you need to have an economist, somebody who understands how to put forth a better economic agenda for the people as a roadmap for development and growth within the county. Okay, this is my reason of entering the race.
Ooh, okay. So the last time I did a record check-in, we have 28 political parties in Liberia. Can you imagine? And Mr. Yeah, and Mr. Yancy, I have decided to go independent. Does that mean there's no party of your choice that did not meet your political ideology? Is that the case? Why are you going independent?
You see, the thing of this party line politics sometimes, do not help the people, because when you are elected in as on a political platform, you have to work according to the party agenda. But sometimes these party agenda do not do well for our people. So I look at the whole thing. I said, but then I don't think it's a wise thing to do. And also, we have other friends from other political divides, other friends from across the aisle. If I go and align with a particular political party, I will be alienating my friends. All right. So I got other people that we need to come aboard because this is an issue that has to do with all Marylander. All right. So it's nothing about party line. I didn't deem it right or necessary to go to come on the ticket of any political party. So I choose to go independent because I was petitioned by the people independently. I mean, they want me to go independent because this is an all Maryland party that I call myself.
Mr. Yancy, are you saying it is your people that petition you, or this in sort of political correctness, gather people together somewhere, gentlemen, I gotta get in this race, and they just set some for signatures, and you guys gotta put me. Is that what we're going? You try to be?
It did not go like that. The National Election Commission has some compliance issues that you have to follow. You don't just enter the race as a person or even as an individual or even on a political platform. You must be petitioned by the people. And I was petitioned by more than 1,900 persons from different parts of Maryland County, from all political groupings. And some from the private, some people on the independent platform from around, some people from even religious groups, all right? People in the private businesses, people in the agriculture sector, people in the mechanical sector, people from all walks of life in this county, petition me. So this is why I entered the race.
So, what is the future of this? You have potentially you can better tell me because there are other people who dropping out. I know we have about 8 candidates. Is the same number still in the race as far as you are concerned?
Yeah, I think we have still 8 candidates as far as I'm concerned. This morning, the last time I checked the NEC listing, we are still 8 candidates, and I'm the last candidate on the ballot. Based on my name, my last name is Yancy, so you know why I've been before the bottom part of the ballot paper. But I entered this race so that I can help the people of this county, drive the economy of this county, reopen the economy.
You said
And
you
say
said
that
drop.
again.
You say you're gonna drop. How are you gonna do that?
I didn't. Please rephrase. Please repeat. I didn't say
Yeah,
drop anything.
yeah. You say you're in this race to help the people of the county, correct?
Okay. All right. You're right. Okay. You see, there's no other candidate in this race that comes with the rich economic background that I have. All right. I'm not, a traditional politician around here. I came from the business sector and a private citizen as well. And with my economic agenda, with what I've experienced over the years, with who I've been working with, the group of people I've worked with around the world, qualifies me, to saying what I'm saying, got me to say what I'm saying. I have a platform where I am introducing what we're going to call local assembly. And this local assembly, that is Maryland County Local Assembly, going to give birth to every developmental platforms within this county, where we're going to look at the issue of the opening of the seaport of Harper, because the port is just here, it's dying down, wearing off. From before the war of Liberia, or even during the war, this port was a busy port, but it has been, a little bit dormant over the last few years since the inception of the Unity Party-led government. A lot of things have not been working, and our people are now faced with serious economic crisis within the county, where, for instance, the prices of goods and services within the county have been like twice or thrice the prices of goods and in other counties, like even in Neighbor County, or like even in Montserrat County. Okay, and we have a port here, and the port is dormant. The port is not working. We have a little ferry that is used between Monrovia and Harper to bring in just a minimum amount of goods. And what happened again during the rainy season of this country, in this country, Liberia, Maryland County, like the whole southeast region of west of Liberia, face the same issue, where the road conditions do not permit, the commuting of heavy duty equipment, like lorries that take goods from the port of Monrovia to the people in the southeastern region. And then with my economic platform, I'm pushing for the port to be revamped and
Okay,
reestablished and
yeah,
reintroduce.
let me hold you there, Mr. Yancy. We are not roller skating here. You came from a background of respect from a wall stage this person. So wait a minute here. What are you telling me? What are you telling the Marylanders? Do you have to be a senator before you can give those sort of help that you are talking about now? Why you didn't initiate that for the people of Maryland to say this is what Mr. Yancy has done. Mr. Yancy has been in the vanguard. Why you want to go on Capitol Hill now to preach this sort of gospel that we are hearing from?
You cannot have the kind of influence and power, to negotiate between various branches of government and other international players when being a private citizen is a very difficult route to go. And there are a lot of bottlenecks when it comes to the issue of bringing on board investors in countries and counties. And I work as a project manager myself. I've worked on the project management platform on Cocoa International, and I have seen these things. I know what it takes. I know the bottlenecks. I know the difficulties when a private person, a private individual, try
So
to bring
you're
on
going
board.
to, are you going there to circumvent the rule? It appears to me this is what the people are doing. So you are going to join the party as well. Not instead of fixing the rule, why can't you hold those that are accountable to light? But you want to go there because the system is not fixed. So apparently, when you are elected to, you will be doing the same thing, correct? Or am I going wrong here?
You see, this is where I came. This is what I said. This is what I said that I'm in the race, to brainstorm the people, to brainstorm. People who are in the economic, zone of this county. When I came in the race to ginger them, to make them to understand. How development agendas are laid out and what are the necessary means and what are the formula to apply to be able to run an economy. So I came on this platform not as a politician, as I said, but then on the other hand, you have to understand when I talk about these bottleneck issues. I'm talking about
Political office, so we can categorically identify you as a politician. I don't know whether it's a career politician or not a career politician, but as a political office.
I'm going to agree with you on a little bit on this one. I'm going to agree with you. Once you have entered the senatorial race, of course, you have chosen to be a politician. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not a traditional politician. I have not been a politician over the last few years. I just became a politician. I just entered politics over the last few weeks or few months since the announcement of the special senatorial election. So you are right. Okay, you are right. Okay, but I am saying to you, what I'm saying to you is that I have not been a politician, a traditional politician over the years. I just entered this race, after being petitioned by the people of this county, and you are right to call me a politician in that aspect.
Okay, so you're going after independent candidate. Most of the guys that I know, they started off with an independent candidate because they know all of these political parties in Liberia. I could be wrong. That's my own assertion. I see them as a social club because they do not have an agenda. They do not have a political agenda for which they will forge ahead. This is why all of the political institutions from history to history, from TWP, NDPL, the Labour Party, all of them, they are crumbling because they fail to put a structure in place and it centers around an individual. As a result, when this individual is fitted, a great example is the NDPL. They let Samuel Doe. Everybody of these people, they were all NDPL yesterday. The NDPL was built around only Samuel Doe. They did not nurture anybody for the future growth of the party. We saw that in Unity Party is being fragmented. And I'm afraid CDC will potentially do that because everything is all about now the president, but they are not thinking about bringing in different persons. Are you saying, let's get it on record here, if you are elected by the people of Maryland County, will you not sway from independent to any kind of party tomorrow? Those things, I don't want you to
That's
put
what
yourself
I'm saying. I already have a party. My party is the Maryland People Party. All right. So I do not.
the Maryland People Party.
So it will be discovered to my people to leave my people and go and join another institution. Meanwhile, I'm part of that institution. The Maryland People Party is for Maryland people, and I'm preaching the agenda of economic change and economic advancement, sorry to say, within our county. And I intend to stay on this platform, to stay in this drive on for the next 9 years after I have been elected senator on December 8th.
what happens if you do not win the election? Will you stay back there, or will you go to the international
Uh,
community
I
to
still
express?
copied a little phrase from somebody, a friend of mine, who, whenever that question comes, he said, "God forbid, God forbid that I lose the election." Or actually, let me say, politics apart, elections apart. All right, I have already started engaging other in the race, other candidates in the race. I'm the only candidate, for instance, who have reached out to most of every other candidate within this race, except for maybe Eric Jacob that I have not seen. We've met, we've seen from a distance, but he has not been, I think he's been busy over the last few days. I'm not saying I'm not going to hold anything against him, all right. But I've met almost all the other candidates, and I'm a bridge builder, all right. With or without the elections in my favor, I'm going to stay within Maryland County. I'm going to push the economic agenda of this county, and whoever going to be successful within the race, which I believe is going to be myself. I mean, I think going to have the support. It's going to have the support of the people. But then, foremost, the most important thing right now to say is that I'm in the race to win, and I believe, I mean, what I'm seeing around the atmosphere, the reception from the people, by the people around here that I'm dealing with in the county, I mean, it's very positive, it's very successful, and then it's very, very, very cordial, and they are very overwhelmingly, accepting me. And I think it's going to be very, very impossible or difficult for me to lose the elections.
Okay, well, I'll take you off your word. You are the one wishing your campaign here. So let me ask you here. Do you currently believe in the electoral process? Some of us have apprehension, and we still have those apprehensions considering all that is unfolding. And fair to mention, there's nowhere that election, everything going to be perfect in the country to say election will go ahead. But I want to ask you, will you validate the results of the election? That's why other people say the voter roll, it got cleaner, it came out late, and no lot of voter education. Will you validate the result of the election no
I
matter what?
think, I think,
Or will you come back
I
here
think
to
it's
say and give justifications of something?
I think what the best for us as Liberians to keep our peace for now is to give credence to the National Election Commission. Let's give them the chance to do the work. All right. I have no reason to believe that they are going to play, that they're going to be any foul play for now. I've not seen any issues like that. I've not seen any traces of that yet. I'm from an independent platform. I'm on an independent platform as a person with my agenda that I'm taking directly to the people. If I for one can tell you that I believe the process is going to be free and fair, then you should believe that. I mean, I think that's the way forward for Liberia, and that's what we should be talking now. We should believe that the process, is going to be free and fair. We should not, pre-conclude, we should not prejudge the institution. I mean, they have a huge tax before them. Already, they have now faced with serious budget constraint, and they are doing everything under their belt and under their ways and means to get this work out. And I mean, the process is going to be free and fair. I believe it's going to be free and fair. I've not seen any traces of any foul play for now. But if I do see that, definitely I'm going to be silent. I'm going to speak out, strongly.
All right. Let's go back to your own county, Logan County here. Tell me three basic things that on your arm for which you are heading to capital, and if Mr. Yancy is elected, going to be the first target point. Are you up for the reductions of salary? I am not happy. The amount our lawmakers, senators, representatives are making, considering ordinary Liberians the way they live in Liberia. Are you one of those in support of that reductions of salary, and what will you prefer to be a take home for you?
I think the issue of the salary, I think I must say I feel that lawmakers have been overpaid in this country. And it is about time. When I enter the house, I will join forces to whoever that is, going to be willing to work with me, so that we can work this out and see how to drop the pay grade of lawmakers further. All right. I overheard over the last few months that the executive is pushing for harmonizations, but then I think we need to take it further. We need to do more, and I think lawmakers are earning a lot, and then our people, the police officers, the military, the medical, practitioners within this country. I'm sorry to say, and other people in other civil servant arms are supposed to get pay rise in a little fair way. This is why I said when I enter the house after the elections on December 8th, I'm going to first obey consensus with other elected officials and those that are already serving, so we can look into how to drop our pay, drop that our and some allotment towards us, and then let's see. I mean, how we can contribute, how we can give back to our people. Let the government be able to use this money and to beef up the health sector and the education sector.
What would be the preferred salary for you as an individual if elected? And I know it's just not within your purview because it has to be a consensus. You're going to be put on the floor. It has to be voted on. But let's say maybe it's in 7,000 and you are off for 5,000. What becomes of that 2,000? How will you approach it?
I would, I would even look at $4,000. I think $4,000 is a fair amount for a lawmaker.
So what happens when 7,000? Like I say, okay, that's perfect. I'm off for that. Let's say maybe 7,000. Then what becomes of that 3,000? How will you approach it?
Actually, that's why I have to always keep giving back to my people, like as I have been doing over the last few months and even the years before I entered the race. All right. So if I'm being paid that amount, of course, that is by law. If we're going to change the salary, the structure of the legislative arm of government, it has to go through law. I do understand. It can't just be a unilateral say or unilateral decision. So what I look forward to doing with the excess amount is to engage the people in the community and then and give. I mean, I will focus mainly on giving out that money for students who are in difficult constraint, facing difficult constraint. I think you're like never go. Who are
Student,
faced with difficult constraint in yeah in paying their school fees around. And I think most of my money will go towards the Tottenham University.
what happened to the health situation in Maryland County? Will you not make some investment into it? Will you not have to improve your
That's
health?
one thing. Education comes with everything. Even at the university, you have health students there. So it's part of it's also a way of helping them buttressing their efforts in learning. So when
Okay,
I'm
so
making some of my payments, I'm going to be contributing some of my payments, some of my salary allotment towards the health sector within the university, the student in the medical college. It could not even be only Maryland County, but then I mean everywhere that has to do with health within Liberia is in my interest. It's good for all Marylanders because a Liberian that is in Vonjima that is going to be a doctor who want to be assigned to Maryland County to work. So the issue of general health, matter is my concern. So I'm going to contribute almost half of my salary, my pay towards the Tottenham University. That's one of my actual, concern right now.
okay. So Mr. Yancey, I'm a guy who is interested in making people to be sustainable, to be self-dependent, to reliant, to make independent decisions. And all of that comes with a piece of legislation that are going to be put in place that you're going to share with your colleagues, subsequently introduced on the floor for what about passage of that. So what are some of the piece of legislation that you think are so burning to the people of Maryland County that it's not happening now that you would want to put forward or share with your colleagues in order to have that bill? So what would be the first two or three pieces of legislation that you are looking at if elected by the
I'm
people
looking
of
at I'm looking at submitting a bill where every county will have its local assembly. And the sole purpose of this local assembly would be, these local assemblies, sorry to say, would be to create check and balance on it. There are various lawmakers that are elected by the people to represent on the national level. All right. So that will be in my first 90 days deliverable. All right. When you listen to my platform, you follow my platform, even other talk shows or other radio, presentations or interview that I have had over the last few weeks and months. I've been reaching out to the people, and other places that I have been campaigning. I've been reaching out to the people that there is a need to have the Maryland County Local Assembly. All right. The local assembly will comprise of people from various walks and various backgrounds, and in the private sector, even the public sector, and then we will have people mostly from our villages, our township, to be elected by their own people, and then to descend on Harper. Harper is the administrative capital of Maryland County, so of course we can have that assembly building put up in Harper, where our people can come from villages and township, and then and other townships, sorry to say, to be able to argue out the points and put forth the development agenda, and then use our county allocations in the national budget as a way of achieving their development goals within the county. And also, I'm proposing to have the Maryland County Development Bank, and this Maryland County Development Bank will be
Just bear with all folks. Just some. Are you there, Mr. Yancy? Yeah, are you there?
I hope I'm back on air. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Maryland Development Bank. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
So the issue of the Maryland County Development Bank is going to be the driving force behind our economy, because this Maryland County Development Bank, with what is going to be allocated to Maryland County for the national budget, and then from other private investors that will invest into this bank. I mean, we can use the resources from the bank to push our development drive within this county. We can give loan. The bank will be giving loan to business people, market women. Will be giving loan to people who want to enter the agriculture sector. We want to bring in to do their small agro business. And then the bank will be there to facilitate all of these loan processes. And then people will be able to pay back this loan without interest, without any interest added onto what they borrow from the bank, because this Maryland County Development Bank is going to be like a public bank for the people. So it will be a bank mostly for economic drive and to support people, private initiatives in developing their own lifestyle.
Okay. We always like to think, also question from our onliners. This is my man, Senatorial, the host of Voice of Sino. I was about to expand on your questions, and he just brought up because he's doing an extraordinary job here. You would come to this question and need further clarification. But these fairy tales, I have heard these things over and over. Politicians will come and they get a long list of laundry list. This is what we're going to do, and as ever, we just get on a train from maybe from New York to Boston, coming down to my own little Rhode Island. I heard this story over and over and over. Why should we time that this thing will be done? And two, to expand on that secretary question here, you talk about local assembly. How would they be elected when we still have the local municipal government is also still being controlled by the executive branch of government? So I thought I would hear a bill to say, look, we need to go back maybe in the 80s, where we'll be able to elect our superintendents, our mayors, our commissioners. We shouldn't have this sort of dominion power by the executive branch of government to appoint paramount chief, clan chief, quarter chief, district leader, and all of that. That's not the democracy of today. I think people should be able to elect their own people. I thought that's where you are going. So how are you going to have these local people assemblies selected? Will they be elected or will they be elected? How are you going to do that?
If you could allow me to expand further on this the proposition, you will understand more. What I'm trying to say right is this. All right. The Maryland County Local Assembly will be elected within the various communities within this county. Okay. We'll have people from civil society group elected. We'll have people from other pressure groups elected. We'll have people from the student body. We'll have people from the Teachers Association elected. We'll have people from Medical Workers Association elected. We'll have people from other community leadership brought in, and they will be elected by themselves within their own small grouping. And then they will also have their own local speaker, and there will be a lower and upper house. You understand? So these two houses, the upper house will be the lower house. Will comprise of people from all of these social groups around, people like the Pempe Riders, people like the Medical Workers Association, people like the Market Women Association, people like the Teachers Association. Okay, they were made of the lower house. Then the upper house will have the elders, people that are of certain age in our society, and we'll have the elder society. And like when we say elder, you should understand what I mean. And I think others know. So these elders will also have.
So which elder do this to me?
Let me elaborate a little bit.
To let if I don't know, audience just don't know. When you say elder, yes, some
okay,
of the
I'm talking about traditional leaders. Talking about traditional leaders in the townships, in the various townships. Like we have people of age, people like let's say that paramount chief and things. I mean, those people that paramount chief. I'm sorry to say, paramount chief could be of any age nowadays. All right, but what I'm trying to say is that people of in the age of the 60s,
The age
60s,
is that
70s.
you think the
No,
age
I
is
mean,
the period of the
consider
wisdom or
we consider these people in our society as our traditional elders. We consider them as our traditional elders. These are people that are
yeah, but let me just
we
Mr. Yancy,
that
Mr. Yancy,
yeah,
with due
yes
respect,
sir.
we have some of the elders who are Confucianists now in the country as well. So are we looking for people with credibility, people with that have their quarters, their various areas are hard? I'm not looking about elders who people they just want to grab people cow, elder come in and they kill the people cow and no accountability to a power. That's not the
This
kind
is
of
what
elder.
they are not going to be selected. They're going to be elected. And before you come out to be elected, you have to come with good moral attitude, good attitude that people will see and want to give you that respect. So I don't think the people from people from Maryland County. I mean, we have people who are far sighted within this county, and I don't think they're going to who are of bad moral standards. You understand? So I believe, I mean, the people will speak for themselves, and also, this Maryland local assembly will be a body that will be able to look at people based on what they have offered, what they have been in terms of values, moral values within their society and communities. This body will comprise of people of such or character. So I think the people of this county are people who are far-sighted with far understanding, and then they're going to elect people and local officials who are going to speak for them and
Okay.
live up to tax.
You remember I told you that we roller skate on LPRAL. I love my followers and people. They are people. They are called in the real patriots of Liberia. Yeah, it's Sylvester here. Say, how do you sustain the bank and its worker if borrower do not pay interest on loan taking? So how are you gonna do that, Mr.
Okay,
Yen? If
let me
they
let,
can pay interest, they
let
can pay.
you see, there will be categories of loans. You understand? There will be categories of loan. Okay, let me just come here and say something right now. Okay, what has been allocated to every county, each county, every budget year, okay, is in the hands of certain elites, and they are not using this well. So the bank is not to make profit. There are banks in the world that are not about to just getting high profits. There and some other banks can invest in other profits, other profitable ventures. Bank can invest in insurance policies. You understand? Banks can invest in real house and real estate. So the bank is not going to be just dormant, just for the issue for the purpose of giving loan to people who want to enter small and medium enterprises. But the bank will also be engaged in housing projects, and these housing projects will bring profit to the bank. The bank will also be giving out money to insurance companies, and the insurance company also will be partners with the bank. So at certain scale and certain level, this bank will not, just put heavy burden on the people of this county. The bank will only mostly be for the issue of uplifting the life of the people of Maryland County. The bank is not solely geared towards making big profit.
All right. We always like to share our platforms with people. There are other people who are going to call, and we are very selective to pick up questions of substance to our guests. When we bring people here, we don't humiliate people. We just try to have an honest conversation with you so that the rest of the Liberian people will know. This is coming from my own Mr. Nathan Namwit Lebrot. He is the Liberian Community Chair of the Board of Directors right here in the Ocean State of Oala. He said, yes, amend the Liberian constitutions and revoke Article 54D, which will allow what Mr. Yancy is saying. Unfortunately, he did not do his research and cannot clearly articulate his vision. These are not the words of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but they are Liberians who are expressing the frustrations in their government, in their leaders, people that are holding state power. Do you agree with me, or you want to I denounce what he's saying?
Uh, I respect him for who he is. I respect him for, I mean, his right to challenge me on what I'm proposing. Okay, but I tend to disagree with what he said, because I think as people of this county, we have the right to manage the affairs of our resources. We have the right and to be able to manage, I mean, what has been allocated to us as citizens of Liberia and Maryland. And then, I mean, the reason why I brought forth this idea is because I think, and everyone within this country understands that our allocations have been misappropriated by people who have been, managing the affairs of our finances in leadership. So I brought forth this agenda so that people within the society themselves can handle the affairs of what is allocated to Maryland County and other counties too. So they can also use it according to what they deem necessary. Because most often what happens in our society or institutions within this country is that lawmakers dictate to the people. They just come forth and bring their own development platform and development agenda and bring it onto the people. All right. And some of these things they bring forth are things that the people do not want, the people do not need. All right. You see the people already have to few hand pumps in the community, and you're still going to bring additional hand pumps. They don't need these things. Okay. People may need clinic, and there may be clinic, and there are no drugs, no drugs within these clinics. So part of what I'm talking about is to help alleviate all of these things so that the people themselves will have control of their own finances and
So
pay for
meaning,
what is needed. And
meaning if elected, there will be a full participation of your people in your development
yeah,
initiative.
bringing
And that's
the government to the people.
in Mosorado, Capitol Hill. One truck is coming, bringing slippers, and the people don't need the slippers.
Uh-huh. Let me just come and say something, okay? That is one of the troubling issues in Maryland County. All right, when you look at the price of cement today, it's just surrounding what I'm saying. When you look at the price of cement, a bag of cement, I went as far as Barabo. Barabo is a very very much far distance from Harper. It's a far place with a serious challenging condition to get there. All right, in terms of roads. Okay, a bag of cement there is been sold at $17 US. You understand? In Harper itself, people are paying like around $14 for a bag of cement. You understand? And these are challenging issues. So, in order to sort this, to bring about in the fairness in prices, so that the prices in Liberia, just a minute, sir, just a minute, in order to bring about fairness in Liberia as a whole, this is why we need to have the local assembly. The local assembly now will work towards the opening of the port of Harper City. All right, when this port is open and working, you will have bigger vessels coming here and bringing in goods and services so that we can be able to compete with Monrovia in terms of prices.
Okay, let me go to the line here
And
quick
then,
so we can allow us to participate. All right, listen. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Nathan. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, good afternoon. Welcome.
Welcome, sir. How are you?
Go ahead.
So I agree with Mr. Yancey's proposal. Unfortunately, his inability to articulate what he's trying to say. That's why I made that comment. I think he's right. I think he's right that we need a serious decentralization of the Liberian policy. And I think I mentioned in a post that the Honorable Chief Ba Mbala happens to be the chief architect of that program. People have actually written about it extensively. I understand exactly what he's trying to say. I'm a strong proponent of that program, so I believe in crafting an effective bill to make sure that it's actually effective. And how is that effective? Article 54D of the Liberian Constitution talks about the president or the executive appointing superintendents and other officials of government. And I think that needs to be taken back. The power needs to be given back.
We need to undo that. I mean, these are things that should be
that
in the
has to be
referendums, and nobody is talking about it. Everybody calling names.
Exactly. And that's what Mr. Yancey is trying to say. So the idea of having a local assembly that drives the engine or the natural landscape of the body politics of local counties and municipals across the country, that's development in and of itself. That's a long process. It's a very drawn-out process, but it's effective. And that's what Mr. Yancey is trying to say. So until that is done, until we have a referendum and be able to either amend or to revoke that Article 54D, everything is just hearsay. Mr. Yancey cannot, he can do all the proposals he wants, But unfortunately, that's not going to be the
Because
case. So I
exactly,
hope
because they are constitutional provision, correct? That's what you say, Mr. Chairman.
exactly. It's a perfect, exactly. So
Okay.
until we get to that point where if Mr. Yancy wins, or even if he doesn't win, become a proponent of the program like we are, and push for the change at some point in the Senate, and make sure it's on the ballot for that referendum to give the power back to the people and decentralize the government to make it more effective. Let me digress a little bit. Look at our local Liberian politics here, if you will, in the diaspora, in the Liberian communities and everything. So Liberian Community Association can call a function or call for a meeting, and you have maybe like 30, 40, 50 people. But if the local chapter of maybe like the Bassa Association or what other county calls a meeting, these people are more in tune with their counties and local, associations than that of the Liberian Community Association. So why don't we leverage that opportunity and make it a better thing? It's not the fact that it's tribalistic, but it's something you can leverage and help improve the counties and all those different things. So everyone's not going to Monrovia and all these other places. Instead, going to the individual counties to actually make sure development, economic and social development actually happen in that county.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Let me go back to you, Mr. Yancy. That's our own chairman of the Liberian community right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm not saying that we are going to do away with the issue of superintendents being appointed by the president or city mayors. Okay, we are not. I'm not thinking about touching this part. What I'm saying is that what is being allocated to various counties should be controlled by the people of the county. Okay, so something like the local assembly has to do only with the issues of what is allocated to the county, like what had been provided by the central government, like this county development fund. All right. So when the county development fund is been divided around Liberia and distributed to each county, the county officials that are elected on the national stage or national scene are those ones that are controlling for now, and most often the funds have been they are misappropriated. So to curb this issue, we need to have the local assembly that will now take charge of these funds when they are given to various counties. So that's my point. I'm not saying we're going to do it with the national agenda of the government, where the superintendent will have no say in discharging his duties as superintendent or city mayor as well. For now, that will be another bill to have to undo the Article 54 of the Liberian Constitution.
The good thing, Mr. Yancy, most of my followers here, they are always save it and always like to put forward suggestions for possible inclusion as you move forward here. What Lpr was saying is that that provision is a very good idea, but it's a constitutional provision, Article 54D, that has to be undone. So probably I think that's the very first thing. And that's what our lawmakers, the people, they don't want to talk about. And I as a citizen do have a problem where you have the executive branch of government to be in total control. And that's one of the reasons here. You've been here at home here. We more practice since start of government. People select elect city mayor, city council, all of those people. Why? Because they want some sort of transparency and independence to make independent decisions. But until we can do that. Okay, let me ask you this question here. One of the things that I'm so frustrated with, and most of the people here, is the behavior of our lawmakers on Capitol Hill, in Capitol Hill right there. They don't have conversations among themselves. The party, they are so much divided. I have not seen one day, even in the midst of all of the killings and the armed robbery, for these major political leaders or major political actors, one day to call and say, hey, we need to discuss this in the interest of our country. It doesn't happen. Yet they say they want to be leaders, so I don't know how that sort of consensus will be built. Are you going there to join part of that Budweiser tournament, or will you be the guy who's going to work across the aisle to be able to work and do things for the people of Liberia, not just only Maryland? Because all of these people, they are from different constituencies, and they must be able to mend their ideas together for good bill, for good legislation. These how they call bills and things. All of these things, but it's not happening. They are not having conversation. When I see these people talk to CDC, Liberty Party people talk to Liberty Party people, ANC talk to ANC, that's ridiculous. That's not democracy.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on this on this idea. I think the issue of too much of political party alliance have been one of the driving force towards this issue. And then a lot of people been elected as lawmakers are so greedy. All right. So hence the reason I put forth the county development and the county local assembly, because the lawmakers have been in control of a lot of things. They are so much like overwhelmed with power. You understand? So to at least remove some of these responsibilities will help them to unite. And then I mean they will mostly be working towards just their salary, get working and getting their actual pay and allotment, and then forget about what goes to their counties. All right. And then again, let's come back to the issue of where they are at local health at times. All right. I'm a bridge builder. I'm a negotiator based on my work on the international scene. So I'm entering that house not as a full politician or traditional politician. I'm going there to build the bridge between people from my county and other counties. I'm going to have a good
That's why
with other lawmakers from other counties, and not only within Maryland too.
these people tore up before they're going to build bridge, and they now demolish and destroy all of the bridges, and they're still there. So if I hear about people talking about building bridges, it scares me away. I'm
Until
telling
there
you,
are no bridges to be built, man.
eh?
Until there are no bridges to be built further.
Yeah, there's a
All
lot of
bridges are destroyed.
bridges are
Okay.
they are
You
demolishing
see,
and destroy everything.
we got to continue the issue of this, engagement. We got to continue to engage in each other. Okay. Liberia as a whole is a single, community as I see it to be. That you see, almost everyone in Liberia knows each other. All right, it's a very small country, and then we can keep fighting on the largest scene or the biggest scene, and then expect, I mean, people in other parts of the society to be peaceful. So one of my traits I have in life is always been peaceful. You understand? Always been peaceful. So I'm going to push for this one. I'm going to be working out with other lawmakers, other legislative caucus members. In this race, even within the race, I'm the only candidate. I'm the only candidate who have reached out to the other candidates in the race. I visited their party headquarters and met some of them and had a discussion with some of them. Had some discussion with some of them. I mean, this is the way forward.
What you
And
say?
some of them are not even able to see eye to eye. I'm calling for a public debate to be held so that we can sit down. And I was even also calling for all of us to sign a peace to smoke the peace pipe so that we can have a peaceful election in Maryland County. I'm calling for this one too. So I think I'm going to reach across the aisle to others. And with my platform, my leadership style, my charisma, I think Maryland is electing a very fine senator in this December elections.
We're going to see how it play out here. Uh, Supposing Mr. James Bannings, who one of the serious contenders here, is on this platform here, what can you say? What sets you apart and to make you more qualified to deliver for Maryland County? Can you look in his eyes, or even the current senator, now, can you look in his eyes that there's no need that the Marylanders elect him for second term? Are you hearing me?
Recycle politicians or lawmakers. None of them recycle. People around here call them recycle politicians or recycle lawmakers because they have been the same people since the days of President Charles Taylor, been in the scene, being on the scene, being re-elected and elected over and over, and nothing extra has changed within this county. So I disagree with any of them, all the policies. I agreed. I mean, when I say disagree, I disagree that they will ever, they'll be elected or re-elected in this election. Yeah. I'm a guy who's not fond of the ways of calling the names of other opponents in any public debate or platform. I don't say the names, but I say, and I'm going to be clear towards it. These people have brought forth what they could, contribute towards this county, and they have nothing new to offer. When we re-elect them, there's nothing new they're going to bring forth. Maryland County in the next 9 years or 6 years or 3 years from now would be the same if these same people are being, entrusted with the affairs of the county. There's nothing they can offer us. When you hear them debating, when they talk about it, none of them is even ready to talk about how they're going to bring about sound economic policies, how they're going to talk about how people can get into businesses within this country. They are not even thinking of this thing. All they are saying is elect me, I will come and bury your palava hot. Elect me, I will come and kill cow. You know, that's the politics they preach around here. And I don't think there's a way forward for our development in this 21st century.
Okay. There are consequential things beside the senatorial elections. There is a referendum. I listened to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Yesterday, the Solicitor General gave a hint that there was a widespread that the referendum was off the table. Can you tell me how will your vote go? Because I support that. The issue of these people, the presidency, I think even there should be a more reduction in time. Senator, one person going there for 9 years, it is ridiculous. One person going there for 6 years, we are stuck with these people for the rest of our life. They can't resign. The only thing can take them away there. We don't want our people to die. We want people, but these people, they are corrupt.
Campaign messages.
Wrongdoing. How will your vote be like? Will you vote for the 6 year, the 7 year, and so forth? That will be on the referendum. And even
I'm going to vote. I'm urging all my followers, all people that believe in me, all people of Maryland County as well, to vote yes to reduce the term limit for all elected offices within this country. All right. I think too much of power or too much of time in power makes you drunk. All right, makes you drunk, and it's not good. And we need to reduce the term limit. Okay, and so that others too can have the chance to come on board to contribute their ideas. You understand? You can have a senator serving for 9 years. For me, it doesn't make sense. For me, it is not good. It doesn't do well for us as a nation. And a president going for whole 6 years, that's a lot of time. I would even prefer it be 4 years. 4 years, you know. So this is why I'm also saying that I'm campaigning. I'm adding my voice to all of these propositions that say the yes proposition to reduce the term limit, and then I put my full support on this one.
Let me see. One of my guys is there. Young. Is Mr. Young around there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Young, let me just bring you in. Let me focus you. You are the brain chief architect. If you can put you, they don't have to see me. Let them see you as well. Thank you so much for doing this. And I say congratulations in advance. In the coming days, you'll be wearing your gowns, and that's a great thing. Despite these difficult times, you're still forging ahead. Thank you so much. But let me just bring you up. We can't let this interview wrap up without getting your voice in it. And please, don't form the Maryland Coalition Army here and the rest of the audience, because that guy is a politician. You are a journalist. Let's turn the camera off here a little bit. Tell us about the race in Maryland. How is it going so far?
Well, Maryland County has 8 persons that are expected to contest the midterm elections and so far being called candidates from Maryland County. There are other political actors, while other folks are there going as independent candidates. For Maryland County, there are so many things happening politically, so many other initiatives going on by political parties, independent candidates touring the counties of Maryland. The 3 electoral districts moving around: Plebo, Harper, and Dartford, Barrow. They are Callaway as well, and making other interventions to ensure that passing on political messages, encouraging supporters and fans comes December 8th to elect them to be senator. As it stands so far, we are doing the processes and all around trying to solicit views and get the opinion polls ongoing. All around Maryland County, to be very honest with you, Maryland is one of the counties in Liberia that is being politically charged. By the grace of God, thank God for the CMA, that's the Christian Minister Association in Maryland County. They have been like working with political actors in most recent time, political parties and independent candidates, including supporters, and also with the help of the Liberia National Police, station series of meetings with the motorcyclists and tricyclists, or the motorcycle and tricycle union in Maryland County. Also with schools, because the county has about 16 high schools and several primary schools in this part of the country. So in most recent time, the Liberia National Police concluded a series of meetings with almost the major high schools in the county to provide information against electoral violence, and also the station meeting with political parties and independent candidates that, if for instance, John Brown wants to go and visit Colocan, he needs to inform the police so that the police will escort him. So that just in case anything happens on the contrary, the police will be able to arrest the situation and to ensure that the lives of citizens and property are well protected. So the police actually doing their best in this region. The Christian Minister Association in recent time concluded an intensive prayer and consultative meeting with political parties. It will interest you to know that with the 8 candidates that are contesting in the county for Maryland, almost all of the candidates sent in representatives to proxy in because most of them were not in county. But however, the information went across. Their political representatives and actors were present to ensure that the right information from the Christian Ministers Association were being conveyed. Uh, Several other things happening around. Currently, in county education wise, the government second higher institution, Tubman University, is expected to have a seventh graduation convocation, November 28th. About 250 plus students are expected to graduate from diverse disciplines at the
You
level
were
of Tubman.
in that number. Let's give you a big head clap. Why you want to be yourself? Oh, you are in that
Yeah,
number. Congratulations. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. And on the local level, with respect to the Ministry of Education, the governor of Liberia came up with a latest release about recruitment process to be done across the country. I'm told, according to the document, that the government is doing the process of recruiting 1,700 teachers because in most recent time, the government of Liberia went through the process, carrying on retirement because some of those teachers have worked into the sector for more than 30, 35 years, and the guys are being very old. But they were interested to know that some of those teachers have complained, and the Liberia National Teachers Association also started raising up alarm with a complaint against the government of Liberia. Some other teachers are alleging that indeed they have degrees, but yet they are not being placed on payrolls. But now the government is doing a major recruitment across the county. As it stands, the local office in Maryland, the county education office, in recent time we held an exclusive interview with the county education officer, Reverend Professor Ted Doyen, who expressed serious challenges. He announced the issue about his office in Harper. Actually, is spoiled, is badly leaking. There was a heavy storm and wind recent time that came and it disrupted normal activities at the local office in Harper. So he tried placing calls out to the county caucus and also philanthropists and other institutions around to come into the process to help at least to do major renovation. Um, JJ Dawson is doing well health wise by the intervention of Partners in Health. Partners in Health is an international organization that has been operating in Southeastern County for a couple of years. And because of the presence of Partners in Health, working with other partners to ensure health services and care deliveries are actually being provided in the right way. JJ Dawson is one of the best hospitals now in Liberia, to be very frank with you, with respect to the professionals, the kind of qualified doctors and nurses that they do have and the kind of services they provide in this part of the country. So the chief medical, not chief medical, but the county health officer, Dr. Methodius George, is a young man, Liberian, who is also doing extremely well. He has been helping the process, and sometimes, especially with respect to the coronavirus, we don't have any information about coronavirus situation, but continuously they are like emphasizing and continue to provide awareness programs on community radio stations and jingles drama, sensitizing our people to be careful with the coronavirus situation.
Okay, Mr. Young, thank you so much here. But this guy here, this is the guy who wants to be senator for your county. You put aside your Maryland relationship there. I want you, you are in Maryland, you in the place there, you know the real deal. This is not a fun here. The people are listening, they want to know what is, because when this guy, when we're saying to Capitol Hill, we're not going to hear anything again. Everything now that when they die, we should we're going to be saying, I'm kidding. But tell us yet, how is the race looks like in terms of these beautiful people that are contesting? I know all of them have the passion to do for what's your question to Mr. Yancy? He said it by you. This is this is a business we are doing. These people are accountable to us. The audience are listening. What are some of the sticker questions you have for him? You are in Maryland.
Well, Mr. Yancy, we'd like to say welcome again.
Thank you.
Several Liberians, residents of Maryland County, are concerned with respect to your arrival in the county. On the radio, many persons will say you are very new into the race.
Mm.
And the thing is, you are also the last person on the ballot or the ticket
Mm-hmm.
as number 8, and
Mm-hmm.
you are the newest, all right, into this race. How can you work it out to ensure that you be elected into this process? Because almost all of the candidates, 7 candidates, so to speak, are people that have been around. They've been having camps and sales and moving all around. And now you just came to the county most recent time. How is he really going to work it out?
You see, I think we have the best platform. We have the best campaign strategy ever in this county. We have offices across every district within this county, and in almost every community we have offices. We have ourselves also been built and set up in other parts of some remote villages within this county. Recently, I was overwhelmingly welcome in Yererubo. All right, it's a little remote, cluster of communities. I think you know about Yererubo, right? Okay, it's uh in the Kalwe belt. All right, and even in Barobo. I mean, these are townships that people really don't access. We have offices placed in everywhere. Within Harpwell alone, we have more than 7 offices within Harpwell.
So
Small,
this
small Harpwell.
suggests that in the counties, so far you got camp set up.
I got camp set up in every part of this county.
Politics in Liberia being
Mhm.
practiced, Liberians
Mhm.
believe that if you want to be a politician, you need to have money. And it will interest you to know, as we're having this conversation now, the environment is getting,
Yes.
overcrowded.
Mhm.
People are not coming to see you, to know you. It doesn't tell us that maybe you got plans to make packages and surprises. Lake Shepherd community you are in right now is one of the communities in Harper, so to speak, that is like being abandoned.
Mhm.
Nothing you see in this place. What are some of the things you have on mind if you are elected to be senator for Maryland County?
You see, we are not the group that go around carrying a big, empty, fake promises. All right. Okay. My group, even though since we entered the race and people are saying that we entered lately, but I don't see it that we entered late because the NDC has given uh, the guidelines that we all adhere to. We follow the guideline rightfully, and then we enter the race according to the time frame of the NEC. And then we have been going around with our community projects. All right, right now as we speak, we are undergoing a project in Hoffman Station. We're building public toilets in Hoffman Station, and in Kalukan we are building a women office. In Yererubo yesterday we initiated reconstruction of the Yererubo public school. They went there, the people asked us to go and renovate the school. But we went there after seeing the level of dilapidated structure that is on the site that they're using for school. You won't want to even put a bag of cement on that. So we are now in the process of reconstructing the whole school. You understand? These are projects that touch the lives of people. And also in people, today we initiated another project at the People Central Market, where we are doing a lot of pavement around the market. Because during the rainy season, people, market women face a lot of constraint when due to muddy environment. So we are all over, and even on the highway,
Okay.
going to Barracan places. We have been touching life of people in rural areas in Maryland County over the last few weeks.
Somebody out there will be listening.
Okay, I think we're having some little bit. Are you guys hearing me?
Fortunately,
Just bear with us a little bit, folks. The folks are in Maryland, and that's some of the
right
things
in
that.
Liberia and in West Africa, and I have been resident of Maryland County, and it's because of my job that I have been posted, in Ghana, in Accra, Ghana. All right, and I have resigned my position. I resigned my position because my office do not allow you running a political race and then serving as a regional director for the company. So I had to resign, and I have moved on my county fully. I'm in this county. So, provided the result of the, no matter what it takes, whatever way it goes, okay, Maryland is mine, and I'm here to work, and I'm here to do my investment in this county also.
okay, Mr. So it's back to you for continuation because I'm sensing like people coming around to interact with him. So maybe we can think about wrapping up
Oh,
rapidly based on the time.
oh, all right. Okay, well, Mr. Yen said again, we want to thank you. But let me ask you this ridiculously question here, and this is what people don't. It's unfortunate yet. How much are you planning, or how much have you put in this campaign here? Are you willing to disclose all the code of conduct? We
Well,
don't have people
maybe
bring in race and then when they come out, Eh?
$7,500.
Seven what?
According to the NEC requirement, the NEC said we should have $7,500 as independent candidate. That's the money I'm spending.
And that was, and what you say? That what NDC say? What you say?
That's why they have. I follow the rules and order. I follow regulations. I mean that's it. Compliance. I have to be, into
Are you
the
willing to make
of
full
the law,
disclosure?
with
Are
the
you
law. So I can't go anything outside that domain. Yeah,
are
that's
you
why they say we should spend. All independent candidate, they say we should spend not more than $7,500. So that's what I'm spending, and I'm spending it wisely.
okay? I hear you. Are you willing to make full disclosure of your asset before going on Capitol Hill?
Well, of
Or you
course,
forget
yeah,
it?
of course. That's something I can even do right now, right here. I can do that right now. Okay.
Glad you
Uh,
were the first person to do that.
legally, if I don't know how to say that, how to see it. All right. First of all, before becoming an independent candidate or a candidate in the race, you have to, declare your properties within this county. Uh, the law requires that we declare at least one property, and I declare. I mean, but I have under my belt within Maryland at least three, property. Okay, three properties within Maryland. I have the one I declare is based in Harper here, where I am. All right, but then I have other assets, and, and uh, in the bank. I have other resources. I have some few vehicles, all right, and I have some private businesses going around, so going on in other parts of Liberia,
You know,
not only Maryland County. So
the one in the bank we share time with you, right? We can't know that one there. Okay, Mr. Yancey, before we let you go, there are Marylanders here in the diaspora all over the world. They are listening, and everybody eager. I am interested, whether from Maryland or not. I want people who have the country at heart. It is hurtful to see some of our leaders how they behave and how they do things. Uh, if we get a good candidate, if we get a good representation, senator, representative, whoever from Maryland, we then Liberia is heading in a good direction. What can you say before we let you go to the Marylanders, to the Liberians listening to you under the tone of your voice this afternoon here? What you want them to do, or what you want us to take into serious concern of your argument here this evening? All right, I think the internet is having a serious problem there. So, okay, well, there you have it. That he's off. But this is what we're going to be doing here. This is what we do on Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We always like to. We always. We always like to have these sort of conversations. They are civil conversations, and that's what I like my people here. To all of you that participated in this conversation here today, I want to thank you so much for this time here. We will keep doing this. The race.
January 2017.
I think. Jesus, now you heard it. These are our people that want to be leaders. We just have to respect them, to bring them and ask them the tough question. We don't have to be rude to them. We can disagree with them, but it has to be done respectfully. After all, some of you here too, you're corrupt. People can't trust you to go by. Like brother man say toffee across the bridge, across the road. You always say the fast and drop. So it's no different than what these people are doing. But as long as we continue to have these sort of conversations in a civil context, ask all of the tough questions and avoid insult for God's sake, we will get to know their inner part and we can be able to make a rational judgment. That's what we are here for, and that's what this network will always try to do. We do not disadvantage with proportionate information. We give everybody the chance. You are in the oppositions, you are in the imposition, you are within the government. Councillor Serena Sifas were here yesterday. And I sent him a message. I listened to Minister Mangit, and I hope we do everything possible if he can use his influence to bring him here. And I'm in support. For the most part, some of the things that he was saying this morning, the referendum, the 6 years is too. The 6 years is too much. The 9 years for the senators is too much. When were these people? And after their 9 years, they're still seeking second term. You give them a chance, they will seek their turn. Some of them been there 9 years, no result, but they still going there. They say the first 9 years, whatever happened, nothing good happened, but they're still going back to the voters to tell them. So there's a need that we go there. And I thank Chairman the Liberal for that, because that part, that Article 54D of the Constitution, it needs to be amended. We need to elect our paramount chief, our clan chief, our city mayor, our commissioners. This is how independence decisions is maintained. Yeah, let the executive get a lot of stuff to do. Let them focus on other things. Let them appoint their cabinet ministers, direct managing directors, and stuff like that. If you're from something town, elect the paramount chief. You know who to elect as a paramount chief. You know who to elect as a land commissioners. I don't think the executive should have that dominant power. It has not been there, and it should not be that way.
Supernatural girl, that's right. Melody in my heart. This way see you come. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, you follow me, thank I'm everybody. Everybody. The things my God has done, I cannot tell it.
That's how we're going to bring the curtain to an end here this afternoon. It's 1:21 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. This is how we're going to leave it here. We're looking forward. Our invitation is out there. We sent an invitation to Senator Darius Dillon more than a month plus. We just re-echo that. Hopefully he will allot time to also come here so we can have a conversation, and not just only him. All of the other folks, as long as you are willing, rest assured we'll bring you here and ask all of the tough questions. This summit, I'm going to be hosting the representative elite, state representative elite of the Liberian community. Oh my goodness, did I say Liberian community? Of the state of Rhode Island. He formerly served as the president of the Liberian community. Probably that's what I'm going. Representative Nathan Bia is Liberian, now going to State House, state representative. He will be my guest right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Keep watching. We're going to put that information out. And those who better knows him and work with him, they will be here as well for us to get a take. You see, the guy, his honored leadership. I'm not saying that Liberian voted for him, but he did what he could do, and that's why. And as an educator, and that's why the people elected him. So it is important for those of you with these organizations and stuff like that, and not keeping the people money right, but you want to poke in the eyes of government officials, senator, representative, you're corrupt, and you're telling other people corrupt, it's bad. So all of you got to be held accountable, all of us. Giving false information, fake information, we all have to be held accountable. If Liberia is to rise, if Liberia is to be delivered, it doesn't start only with the government official. It starts with us as a citizen. You must be disciplined. You must be tolerant. You must put up good attitude. But if you get that kind of behavior and you want to be what? Office assistant, you will loot the people stationary before the day comes to an end, and then you put burdens on government. And that's why it's happening. Everybody corrupt, dishonest. They don't like their country. So the stealing is all over the place. And this is what we see in our organizations or in the diaspora here, all fragmented with financial issues. They don't make report. When it comes to report, then they're not pay or they're not voluntary thing. But yes, they went there, they knew it was going to be a voluntary thing, but when time for people to ask for their financial report and they say that voluntary thing, they won't do their doubles and triples. Who cares? You never signed a contract. Nobody told you they're going to pay you monthly. So the commitment and honesty, it starts from right under your feet. And this is how we must judge people. And this is how we must reward people of decency, respect, good governance, accountability. If we have those people, but it's hard, very minimal people. And so to deal with 1,000 people who are embedded and drowned in corruption, to work with them, it is extremely difficult. Because when you try to do it, they give you some code name. And that's why we are having a problem we are having. So this problem is a long fight. But we have to be patient, we have to be tolerant, we have to keep a civil conversations in order to convince people. I hope I had a chance to talk to him. His plan for the young people of Liberia. I am unhappy how our politicians are treating the young generation. They have subjected them to poverty, and this is why they are doing what they are doing. No future. I'm not saying the effective rehabilitation process. In fact, I will be hosting the Minister of Youth and Sport, Minister D. Zioka Wasent. I will be appearing here at some part of this week. Hopefully, we'll come to a term today to know exactly the plans of the Ministry of Youth for the future generations. These politicians, greedy, self-centered politicians, continuing slate to have this our young generation hostage, subject them to all sort of behaviors in that there will be submissions to their political elevation. But until we can all change course and hold our people that we even support as senator, as president, as politician, and hold them accountable, and that they can be disciplined, they can have that political tolerance, we won't go nowhere. If you're cussing whole day, how somebody will listen to you? You're supposed to be pushing the agendas of the politician, the person, or the political party that you are investing time in. You take 2 hours to insult, to tell somebody what sort of shoe they're wearing and what is that. It doesn't solve the problem. You're adding insult to injury. That's not how we see it happening here. People discuss issues. But it's so sickening to see people who talk for government, people who talk for the opposition, does not have the courage, and because they simply do not even know the very things the people that they support, the agenda they are running to take state power. So they're all drawn into insult. But again, Liberia is a different country on planet Earth. We all cheer stupidness and things that we're not supposed to cheer. That's what we cheer. That's what we embrace. And when it began to haunt us, then you say, then you act like you don't know. You invited it in your house, you raised it, you fed it. So we raised our own alligator unknown to us. That's what we did during the war. You kill Mama, you kill Mama, I will vote for you. We did not ask all of the questions. Now we are not asking our people questions. Small things somebody do, we begin to glorify and amplify them. Yeah, he's the best person. Sooner or later they get there, they start doing their own things. And we can adapt the system. We here and we begin to educate our people, have the conversation with them, that they must ask these people, they must vote on issues, and we have patience and tolerance with them to explain to them their decision, the consequences, the potential problem, or in the long and short term. They will listen. But if you just cause them up and you're not feeding them, the people who give them the rights, they will listen to them. But if you exercise maximum tolerance and respect them, whatever it is, and have that dialogue with them, they will listen to you. Until then, folks, have a pleasant day. That's how I'm going to leave it here today. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Library of Popular Radio.
Before I die, you keep on showering your blessings all over me. If I don't praise you, if I don't worship you, você me tá do pé, ganha me tá do pé I don't, yes I don't, I don't, ganha warrior.
That's Minister Tabinant Johnson in the United Kingdom, Liberian gospel artist based in the UK. I'm going to be taking her home today. Hopefully tomorrow, if it goes well, I will confirm that. But I'm going to be having someone here. We're going to put down politics a little bit, but it will be injected into it. Legendary one-time strikeouts of the Invincible 11, Kai Jabo. I hopefully will be my guest. We're going to conclude our conversation today. Until then, have a pleasant evening and stay blessed. Please, the virus is deadly. Do everything possible to stay safe. Okay? Bye-bye.